Hey, Mystic Michaela spiritual family. Welcome to Know Your Aura with Mystic Michaela. Today, do you feel like society is some sort of machine, some sort of matrix that is tasked with keeping you down? Perhaps it is. Perhaps I agree with you. We're going to talk about that in a spiritual 5D and 3D way. But first, hey, Scotty.
Hey, guys.
So this episode came about because I've been thinking about this whole machine thing for a while, and I'm going to get into that.
Right.
But then there's this news hit, and everybody's asking me, what are his aura colors? What are his aura colors? A young man named Luigi Mangione assassinated the CEO of United Healthcare.
Right.
And what's his name?
Brian Thompson.
Yes. And he's become some sort of folk hero.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just reporting what I see. Like it's become this, everyone's latching onto his story.
Yeah, it's crazy phenomenon. I mean, this guy is seen as a hero. He's getting first of all, he killed someone. He murdered someone on a street in New York City. And he's getting donations for his legal bills, donations to help out his cause. Thousands and thousands of donations, by the way.
Yeah.
They're making T-shirts about him. Obviously he's being talked about on podcasts now. It's kind of crazy, right? I mean, he's at hero level status. The other guy you don't hear much about. I don't know if that's on purpose because of his family doesn't want it in the news or whatever, but you don't hear really anything about him.
Yeah.
I haven't seen any stories talking about, what he's done as a person.
Yeah.
But you do hear all these stories about the murderer.
A lot of sympathy.
And a lot of sympathy.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I'm not saying this is correct.
We're not condoning it. We're just seeing,
right. I'm just saying what's going on.
Right.
And and to me, I'm like, oh my God, this is like story after story. I'm just reading about how people love this guy. He murdered someone. And of course I have to look into history and think about it. And the first thing that popped into my head was Bonnie and Clyde.
Okay.
So let's take that example and then we'll go back to Luigi.
Okay.
All right. So do you know who Bonnie and Clyde were? I mean,
yes,
obviously you
I
probably
know,
do.
like pop culture, like it more kind of a lore kind of sense,
Right.
like these cool duo that did all this illegal stuff. And,
right.
Like
running around the country.
Yeah.
Doing all these cool things.
I don't know much about them.
Right. Okay. And again, there's no right answer here, but do you have a favorable, unfavorable, or like in the middle opinion of them?
I guess it's just kind of more been like they're not real. So it's favorable in that it's like, oh yeah, you're regular Bonnie and Clyde, or those two are Bonnie and Clyde, like freedom or going against society.
Okay, kind of like Robin Hood.
Like Robin Hood.
Yeah. Okay, fine. All right, so Bonnie and Clyde, just a little history. I'm not going to go crazy in depth here, but 1930s. Okay, that's when they're around 1932 till they're killed in 1934. So this is the height of the Great Depression. All right, people are hungry, out of work, they're unemployed. Many people lost their life savings. The number one enemy of the during the Great Depression is the banks. The banks are the enemy, right? Yeah. They're the institutions that let everybody down. Everyone, people had their money in their banks. They went to the banks to get the money out, and guess what? There was no money there.
Did that literally, like
yes,
like me and you, like we go to take money out, and there was no money there.
There could have been no money there, correct? Because there was no FDIC at the time. Okay, the Federally Deposit Insurance. So, like, meaning if you put today, like couples can put, I think for couples it's $250,000. The government backs that up. Okay. So if the bank went under, like Wells Fargo went under, you would get that money back from the federal government.
Okay, but they didn't have that.
Well, let's say supposedly you'd get that money back from the federal government. If you trust in these systems.
Right.
But back then, you put the money in the bank and the bank went under, there's no more money.
Can you imagine, like, the anger, the rage?
That's why, like, people's grandparents and great-grandparents, they put their money in their mattresses. You find money behind a picture frame.
Yeah, my grandparents were like that.
Right. They didn't put their money in the bank because they didn't trust the bank. So the number one thing that people really probably hated during that time period, the institution, I should say, were the banks.
Yeah.
Okay. So here are these two kids. They're on the run from the police, and they're basically robbing banks. Right?
Okay. So
everyone at that time, not everyone, but people at that time saw them as heroes, as these incredible people, like you said, like a fairy tale, or just running around doing crazy cool things,
like folk heroes.
Folk heroes, sure. Mm-hmm. But in actuality, they killed, I believe, 9 police officers. Oh. They killed 4 civilians.
They robbed
banks, but they didn't rob like the big JP Morgan Bank. They were robbing the rural bank in a local,
local town.
They were robbing gas stations. They were robbing local businesses.
Right.
But in people's minds, they were great.
Yeah.
They loved them until till the end. I think they were loved until I think maybe later on it came out about the gruesome things that they did.
Right. And the people whose lives were lost.
But even today, they don't really go down as murders of, was it 13 people, right?
Yeah.
So
that's interesting.
Yeah, it's very interesting because it was against the banks. Now here, this guy today commits a murder against a CEO of the largest healthcare provider in the United States, I believe.
Right.
United Health. People in this country must so vehemently hate the healthcare companies.
Yeah.
I mean, I do myself. I don't like these healthcare companies.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sugarcoat this.
We've all had stories.
Right. So then along comes this kid, this 20-something-year-old kid. He's got all these back issues. The media's building up all these issues he had with his back, and he had these surgeries, blah, blah, blah. And he goes and he kills the CEO, the leader of the largest healthcare company in the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
And he's applauded for it.
Right.
So it's kind of crazy, right?
I think just overall, a lot of us are really hurt and angry.
Right.
And maybe in a weird way, this provides some sort of validation, do you see us now? Do you see us now?
Right.
Having said that, if we could take a step back, it's like a person, a father, so obviously it's just interesting to see the whole story. Luigi, so everybody's like, what are his colors? He's green, purple. That's what I see on him.
Green and purple.
Green, purple. And I looked at him when he was younger. He had more blue.
Okay.
And then looking at him once he got arrested, he's just very green with purple.
Oh.
So this is just an aura color. And again, auras are not excuses. They do not mean that every green purple is going to go be an assassin, a vengeful assassin. It just kind of explains how he got away with it, honestly, for as long as he did. So green purples are incredibly smart. I mean, he's smart. This is built up. I mean, he comes from a rich family. He was set up for success, really intelligent, all that. Anyways, he's really smart. But what happened was, I think, is that his green, because it's so intense right now, he got very, very hyper-focused on seeing the machine, how things are unfair, how things work, the system. Greens see systems. They can see blueprints where we can't. The rest of us can't. So as a green, and he's an engineer too, by the way, by trade, he could see, oh my gosh, if you really look at how that system's set up, the healthcare system, we're not people. We're just numbers. We're nothing. We're nobodies on paper. We're just whatevers. We mean nothing. We're not individuals.
Right.
And he saw that. And he's like, oh my God, I'm just one of those. And everybody else is too. We're just nothings. Now, you might argue, another green person who looks at it differently, or somebody else might be like, well, they have to run it that way. Otherwise it'd be a mess. They have to run it with a system. And, they can't put humanity on everybody. There's too many people. It wouldn't work, right? It has to be a machine or it's not going to work. But if you look at it, I think from the way he was looking at it, it's this is horrific. And all of a sudden, he just honed in a certain way, and the blue got kicked out somewhere. Sometimes with blue, because he was blue when he was younger, because I was looking at him as a kid and stuff, I think, he had hope. He was like, okay, I'm going to do this. If I'm a really good person, then I can do this. He thought you can change something. And I think along the way, he hit a wall that a lot of us hit. And it is depressing as hell when all of a sudden you're like, I mean nothing. I'm a cog in the machine. The 3D will get you to think like that. And if you look at the 3D, that's true. But if you look in the 5D, it's not. That's why we always have to look from the 5D perspective. But I think he hit that wall, and a lot of us have hit that, I don't know, you just walk into... I think we all hit that. Have you hit that? I feel like...
Yeah.
You're like, oh, great, I'm nobody and nothing. Okay, yeah, cool. Exactly. And I think he hit that, and all of a sudden he felt vindicated in doing what he felt he had to do. Was it right? Yeah. And it's never right to take a life. I don't think it's ever right to take a life. Correct. But it's not. I'm not talking about what I think. I'm talking about what I think he thought.
Right.
Based on his energy. And now the other thing I think is he thinks he's going to get out of it somehow. You know, because when I look at him, I feel like he's got a lot of fight in him. You know, he really does. And I'm sorry. And I see, you know, because I'm online too, and everyone's like, there's all this. Like, he's there.
No.
He's stuck.
Then you have the law, which is like more red and yellow or something like that. A good combination of red, yellow, right?
Yeah.
And you're not getting out.
No, like you're here now, and the fight's going to drain out of them. And they're going to silence them, and, you know, we're not going to hear much more. And
and then the bigger scope probably would be, what is the response that the healthcare industry is going to do? And guess what the response is going to be? It's not going to be to save the person who's dying of cancer, you know, from getting their, you know, plan cut or whatever when you know, when they needed the surgery or whatever. It's going to probably be along the lines of protecting themselves. So they're going to beef up their security. They're probably going to put up fencing around their offices and more security guards and things like that. And people are not going to take that the right way. That is going to still continue to make them more hated and him more loved.
He just threw gasoline on a fire.
Yeah.
Is what he did.
Right.
And maybe we all need to see that so we can be like, oh, you know, what can change, even though he went about it, you know, obviously not the right way.
Correct. Right.
But
it's still
fascinating.
It is fascinating.
It's just how people react. Like, we're all really pissed off.
And I even, when I even like heard some of the facts come out about him, I'm like, oh, okay, this is going to change public sentiment. Like that he came from he went to private school. He went to a more wealthy family.
Yeah.
So I thought that might change the narrative on him. No, that didn't even change it.
Yeah.
Because, you know, if he came from like this really, let's say, impoverished family, and he, you know, maybe he had like siblings that had died, you know, on the table because of the healthcare.
Right.
But that's not the case. But yet still people are loving his story.
Yeah.
It truly is fascinating.
It touches something in all of us because we're like, oh, yeah, I was mad about that. It's a silent like anger we have towards the machine.
Yes.
And that's just one spot it's in. It's in then like, so like you said, like banks or money or any institutions that represent like the 3D keeping us down. Like we have like this rage in us against it. We know we're being held captive by this energy. We know we are.
Yeah.
And it's so easy to just, whatever, I'm going to distract myself. I'm going to ignore it. Oh, there's a new iPhone. Okay, I'll buy that. Oh, okay, we'll do this. It's so easy to distract ourselves. But like when something like this happens, it's like, oh my God, I am really pissed off.
Yeah. But nobody's really pissed at him.
Right.
I think you even told me the other day, Burger King made a funny joke.
Yeah.
We don't snitch.
I know.
Like, because of McDonald's did.
Yeah.
And it's like kind of, someone died, but yet they're still... It's like most of the time, like with how sensitive people have been over the last decade, you would think, like, oh my God. But
I know.
No.
Yeah, I know, because it's been so, you're right. I didn't even think of it that way. Like people have been so sensitive, like the past several years.
Right.
And this one, everyone's like, meh.
Yeah. I bet you took a poll and said, should he go free? Most people would say, yes.
Yeah, I bet you
they would. They'd be like, yes, he should go free.
God.
But anyway.
Interesting.
Right. Again, I do want to clarify, we're not... you know, we're not promoting this or anything.
Absolutely not.
We're right.
I mean, he's a father.
Right.
It's horrific.
Okay.
It's interesting, and everybody was asking about it, so there you go.
All right. So take a quick break. You're going to talk about how society keeps you from leveling up.
This episode of Know Your Aura is brought to you by Wild Grain. The holiday season is here, and it is time to start baking delicious homemade favorites with family and friends. Well, Wild Grain is here to make you look like a baking expert without the stress. If you are not familiar with Wild Grain, it's the first bake from frozen subscription box for artisanal breads, pastries, and pastas. Wild Grain's boxes are fully customizable to your tastes and dietary restrictions. In addition to their classic variety box, they recently launched a new gluten-free box and a plant-based box that is 100% vegan. Best of all, they take the hassle out of baking since all items bake from frozen in 25 minutes or less with no mess or cleanup. Right, Scotty?
I love everything Wild Grain. I love it so much. I actually invited the founders to come to our Christmas party this year. Please come. Sourdough bread, croissants, any type of bread, apple pastas. I love it all. You know that. I've said this many times on the podcast. I love everything Wild Grain.
Like if I ever see one of you in person, and like at the event, people are like, "Do you guys talk about Wild Grain? Do you love it?" I'm like, look at me in the eyes. Like, I love Wild Grain.
Yeah. And by the way, the invitation to the founders, you have to bring bread with you.
Yes, please bring.
Yeah, you can't come empty-handed.
Yeah, no, bring your sourdough.
Just making that clear.
Thank you. Exactly. Impress your guests with minimal effort this holiday season. Wild Grain is offering our listeners $30 off the first box plus a free item in every box when you go to wildgrain.com/KYA. You heard me. You can now get $30 off your first customized box when you go to wildgrain.com/KYA, or you can use promo code KYA at checkout. This is a crazy psychic lady segment. So you've been warned. CPL segment. I have been wanting to talk about this forever, and I just didn't know how to build an episode around it. So here it is. And I mean, I have been thinking about this for a really long time. And I would say that this year, it has just been so obvious to me, it's hard not to notice. So I thought, whatever, we'll do a CPL segment and we'll talk about it. Here we go. Let's say we're all living in a programmed reality. And honestly, we are. Talk about the 3D a lot on here. The 3D is our physical reality. We're all plugged in. Our consciousness is plugged into a physical reality because you're a human in a human body. And we all have, talk about this all the time, something called an ego. The ego is the part of you that is human. It's tied to your human state and it keeps you alive. We love the ego. We're thankful for the ego. It's not going anywhere because it has an important job to do. It keeps you plugged in to this physical reality. It's trying to keep you alive. Sometimes it misfires. It doesn't always know what's good for you. It just knows what you're good at. And this is the part of you that enjoys a pattern. Whether it's good for you or not, if it's something you survived before, your ego will make you continue doing it. And we all have this. And like I always say, we don't do what's good for us, we do what's normal for us. So when you try to break out of the ego pattern, we hit certain obstacles and walls. And chances are, if you're looking into your spirituality, you're listening to podcasts like this, you're doing that. You are going against your ego. And the ego will always kind of snap back with a lot of fear and stress and anxiety and worry that if you change something up, then everything will fall apart. But you get used to that and you level up spiritually into something that we call over here the 5D. The 5D is the reality of your consciousness. That's like your home reality. That's like the source we're all trying to get back to. That's where there is no yours, mine, everything's ours. There's a limitless abundance of love and unconditional safety for all of us. And that is the reality of our consciousness. So it's difficult. There's a balance. We have to live in this 3D programmed society. And we also, in order to feel alive or feel like we're doing something, or for our souls to learn the thing that it came to learn, we also have to balance that by connecting with the 5D, which we do through connecting with ourselves, spirituality, connecting with like-minded people and community, and practicing feeling love and safety and compassion and empathy. Okay, so let's say we all have an ego, right? So the 3D world, which we're all plugged into, has a collective ego, and that's like the societal ego. And that is the way I see it, and there could be a gazillion other ways to interpret this. This is just mine at this moment. The societal ego to me feels like the machine, the program, the matrix, like that's what it feels like to me. It's just the collective ego of all of us. Basically, we're living in an ant farm. Okay. And there's a social contract. There's things you subconsciously tie yourselves to, agree to, in order to exist in this physical 3D reality. And the collective ego controls you. It controls you. And the collective ego likes you to stay in your designated socioeconomic class. Okay, for example, it likes you to stay in your limited life. It likes you to stay in your mindset, whatever mindset you were kind of raised in and brought up in. It's really hard to leave that. And if you have, good job. Okay. Because your the 3D society ego, the collective ego, the program, the machine likes you to stay the same. Therefore, it is really, really hard to level up. It's hard. You hit walls, you hit glass ceilings, you get doors slammed in your face. Okay, because everyone's plugged in subconsciously to this 3D ego. We're all puppets to it. Until you take a step back and you see it. And you're like, whoa. And that's what has happened to me a lot. And then this year specifically. So I wanted to talk to you about that today. And I wanted to talk to you about what some types of people that I'm just labeling, some types of roles, let's say, that the 3D society will plug people into. And it is very possible that in your life, you have been subconsciously assigned to one of these 3D roles that you've been programmed by the machine to act out to limit other people. And I bet as I go through what I'm talking about today, you for sure have met some of these roles. And when you level up, when you try to change your mindset, when you try to change, I don't know, you have a dream, you're like, I want to live here, or I want to work here, or I want to pursue that, or I want to be loved in this way. And it's different from what is normal to you. The 3D machine, the programming notices, oh my gosh, they're doing something different. Send in the program to stop them. Send in the walls, send in the cybersecurity. Attack. When you're getting attacked by the 3D, and I'm going to go through the roles of the 3D in the next segment. When you're getting attacked, though, I want you to keep this in mind. It means that you've alerted the system to the fact that you're leveling up. It means you're doing it. So if you're encountering what I'm about to talk about, guess what? Keep going. Fight the fight. You got this, okay? It's not about winning it because, like I said, we're in a physical body. We're plugged into this lifetime. We're here for a reason. We're here to try to overcome as much as we can and learn as much as we can. Okay, so there's value in being here. I feel like this life, the challenges is what makes the lesson so important and essential. So I do feel like there's purpose to this conflict. But anyways, know that when it's coming at you, you're doing something and you have to keep going. You have to take it in a different way. When we come back, I'm going to go through 5 3D programmed roles that our 3D society will hijack people around you in order to keep you down. Gotta be honest with you, I do not have all my holiday shopping done as of right now, but that's okay if you don't either, because Way is making it easy to give way better gifts this holiday season. Myself and my kiddos are getting Way in their stockings because they are obsessed with all Way's products, as am I. I love Way because they have everything for anything you can think of for any type of hair. I took the hair quiz a long time ago and it totally changed which products I use. I have thick hair, and using their thick hair shampoo and conditioner has made just my hair shinier looking, softer feeling, healthier looking. My kids also love all of Way's products. I am leaving in their stocking the leave-in conditioner, which it's multitasking. It detangles, hydrates, it smells amazing, it fights frizz for every hair type. It is an essential in my house at this point. And also their hair oil is going in their stockings. It's a nutrient-packed, quickly absorbing, keeps hair color from fading, revives damaged hair easily, just gives it that shine. And right now, 'tis the season to get away and save. Save 15% off site-wide when you give the gift of Way. Whether the person on your list has fine, medium, or thick hair or multiple hair concerns, Way's got you. Get on your way to save for the holiday. Go to theouai.com for 15% off site-wide and enter promo code AURA. That's the way, theouai.com for 15% off with code AURA. CPL episode, Crazy Psychic Lady. Here I am. Okay, so we're back. I'm going to talk about 5 distinct roles, and there could be more. This is just what I've noticed. This is something today's the first time I'm ever talking about it, so maybe there's more to talk about. But 5 distinct roles that the 3D programmed machine around us will plug into people in order to keep you stuck and down and not leveling up. And let me preface this by saying there are whole institutions. Okay, there are whole segments of the government. There are whole parts in our entire society that are created in order to keep you down and stuck and unable to move forward. I mean, there's mentalities, just money itself, class, race, oh my gosh, gender, preference. Like there's so many ways that society will try to come in and get you on a whole level. But I'm going to talk about today, think about it this way. I'm doing individual people that come into your life and do certain things to keep you down. So we're going to keep it on a one-on-one level for this explanation. But man, like I said, there are whole industries dedicated and funded to keep you down. So I'm going to start with, these are the time wasters. I'll just get right to it. The time wasters. This is my number one. I despise the time wasters. Let me explain what a time waster is. Time wasters it's a role that people will pick up around you and they come in to waste your time. Okay. So if you think about it, time's your most precious commodity, and they'll take your time and they'll put it somewhere where you can't do anything with it. You're just wasting it. They feel like really exciting. They come in, they're like, we're going to do this for you. We're going to do that for you. Okay. This is a process. This is the most important process that there could possibly be. So you have to do step A, step B, step C, all these things. Okay. So they're wasting your time getting all invested. They could be people who say everything you ever wanted to hear. You want to get married? Oh, me too. You want to have, how many kids do you want? Oh, me too. We're going to be in love. And then they, disappear. They're just people that take your time and they squander it. Here's the thing though. If you're encountering a time waster, it means that you're moving faster than normal. It means that the 3D program is like, hey, wait a second. That person is moving too fast for their assigned role attack. Send in a time waster. So it's good. It means you've been moving faster. And as long as you can circumnavigate the time waster, you can keep going. Who are they? They're anyone who breadcrumbs you. All right. Strings you along. So on a one-on-one, think about business ventures. Maybe you really wanted to write that book or write that script or something. It's somebody who's like, I got lots of connections. I know this person. I'm going to get you a meeting. Right? I'm going to get you a meeting. We're going to do this and we're going to do that. It's going to be amazing. I already know everybody. Get ready. Are you so excited? You're moving to Hollywood. This is just an example. But they always, you'll see, they always breadcrumb you. So they're like, okay, but that meeting, it's in 2 Tuesdays from now, or they can't meet till after the new year. So you got a chunk of time now, right? That's 2 weeks, for example, before this great meeting that's going to change your life. In that 2 weeks, you're like, oh, I'm not looking for any other opportunities. This is the biggest meeting of my life. And you spend all your time just getting excited about it and fantasizing about it and getting ready for it. That's what they wanted you to do. They wanted to take your time and squander it. So that chunk of time, okay, until they can breadcrumb you again and waste more time, you're not doing anything with it. You're stuck. They get you all thinking something's going to happen, but nothing's happening. And therefore, you're exactly where they wanted you to be, stuck. Or they could be people who string you along in love. We're going to get married. We're going to do this. I just have to wait till I get enough money, or I just have to wait till the divorce, or I just have to wait till I move, or I just have to wait till I get a different job, or I just wait till I I got to wait for my stepkids to understand, or da 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 da. Again, okay. I'm wasting all this time. I'm sitting here waiting you. That's why I always say never hang your hat on someone else's timeline. If you got a dream going on and then somebody comes in and seems just as excited about your dream as you are, but then they're like, but here's a new timeline, red flag, run away. No, I got my own timeline. I do not hang my hat on your timeline. Okay, you just gave away all your control, and that's a time waster. Also you could think people like, pyramid schemes. Okay, things like that. I want to be an entrepreneur. Oh, you do? Here's an easy way. And all that energy and all your excitement and all your contacts and all your credibility, all that. And you just like slam it. You just like waste it. By the time you figure out that this was a bust, you have no energy to redo it. You're just like, oh, forget it. And after a time waster, you feel stupid and you feel like you wasted your time, like it's your fault. And you feel like, what's the point? And you feel defeated. And then you go back to the pattern, which is exactly what the 3D wanted you to do. Whole industries are dedicated to this. Industries we can't avoid. Okay, sometimes this can happen in large scale, this can happen small scale, this can happen all over the place. My point is, time wasters mean you've been moving too fast and they've come to put a check on you. It's a good thing. Notice it, circumnavigate it as best you can. Second type of person that will be programmed, this is a job that is programmed by the 3D to keep you down, are the vibe lowerers. I did not take the time to come up with better names than what I got. The vibe lowerers. Who are the vibe lowerers? My best, honestly, from the depths of my very soul, they feel like Dementors, from Harry Potter. If you've never read Harry Potter or seen Harry Potter, I do not know how best else to explain it. They are Dementors. And they come in because they're anti-manifestors. It means that you've been manifesting too much lately. You've been manifesting a little too well. Your thoughts are becoming reality a lot quicker than the 3D program would like you, to happen for you. So vibe blowers, their specialty is making your thoughts really, really, really depressing. After you're around a vibe blower, you feel bleak. Like life is pointless. Everything looks gray. Food doesn't even taste good. You just kind of want to curl up in a ball. And you just feel sad. And you don't know why. It's like somebody just sucked all the living joy out of you. And you look around and nothing makes you excited anymore. That's a vibe blower. That's what they do. You may be picturing certain people right now in your life or family. Here's the deal. And I have to say this because you guys are such sensitive, sweet people who sit there and always think, am I the vibe blower? Most likely not. If you have something actually going on in your life, like, for example, when my cat died, I was definitely not a fun person to be around for a while. That doesn't mean I was a vibe blower. You're allowed to be sad. You're allowed to, you own your feelings. You know what I mean? That's not a vibe blower. Like, if you feel your feelings, that's a good thing. That's a high vibe. Even if you feel sad authentically, that's a high vibe. Okay? These people are different than that. They take all the joy out of a room. They just suck you dry. Who are these people? They're the Debbie Downers. They're patterned Debbie Downers. You've never known them not to be a Debbie Downer. Okay? They're people that just point out your mistakes for fun. They're trolls. Okay? If you ever encountered a troll on the internet, that person's a vibe blower. They want to silence you. Okay? They come in to make you be like, I'm not even going to open my mouth because I just don't even want to hear it. There it is. They're trolls. They're people who make you feel like just guilty. They distract you with their storylines or their drama or reasons why you shouldn't be happy or alternate points that are just negative all the time. Sometimes they're just people that are just upset that your vibe is high and theirs is lower and it feels uncomfortable to them. So it's a good thing when a vibe blower shows up in your life because it means that your vibe's actually super high and you're rubbing the low vibe people the wrong way. And they have this need to bring you down to their vibrational level so that they feel more equal with things. And if you have ever kind of, I don't know how else to explain it, but like ditched a friend, you're like, all right, I can't be around this friend anymore. Their vibe's too low. And you haven't seen them for a while. And then you meet up with them and you're like, oh, like they haven't changed at all, but you just sense like, okay, there's a disparity between my vibe and your vibe. Like it feels stressful. They will attempt really hard to bring you down to their level with just their tricks and tactics. So it just means your vibe's high and you're manifesting a lot quicker than you should be. And they're sent in to make you all sad and bleak and depressed so that you don't turn your thoughts into reality. Actually, your thoughts become negative so that your reality can become negative. Next person are, and again, I did not work on these names, but the angry makers. These people just want to fight and they want you to fight. So back to the 3D ego reality, the collective ego. If you noticed, I'm sure you have, there's one or two, right or wrong, pick a side. There's no in between, never a gray area, okay? Because the ego-driven society likes to pit us against each other. When we're busy fighting with each other, the powers that be can do whatever they want. We are distracted. And then all our energy goes with being right. Like, I have to be right, and you have to be wrong. Which, by the way, nobody ever has ever thought hey, wait a second. That argument made me realize that I'm wrong. That never happens. So they have us fight with each other and waste all this energy screaming at each other. Because again, awesome. That keeps us exactly where we are. When we spend all our energy fighting, now we don't use it to better our lives and each other's lives. So angry makers like to kind of, drop something, drop a point, get a little fight, start a fire, and then have everybody scream at each other. Different. Oh, why do these people show up? These people show up because you have been seeing things in a more 5D way, meaning how do I adjust myself to, encompass everybody and get everybody moving in a healing direction? So you're probably more peaceful than usual. You're probably somebody who is more into activist stuff, like actions instead of words, because angry makers are different than activists. Okay. We're all supposed to stand up for what we believe in. Okay. We're all supposed to point out injustice. We're all supposed to, see something and do something. If you have a thought that something's wrong with the world, you don't just scream at everybody about it. You're like, okay, let's organize. What are actions? How do we actually get something done now? Okay, so activists are not angry makers. Angry makers don't like you to be an activist. They want you to just fight on a Facebook page about it, okay? Activists are like, no, we're all getting together here. We're all showing up here. Step one, come on, let's go. Let's do it. Change, okay? That's different. Activists are different than angry makers. I just want to make that point. But these are people who just want you to feel defensive. They draw lines in the sand, and they really enjoy everybody just screaming at each other. And when you fight, you also feel isolated. So in the 3D world, a big thing is, in order for it to work in this program, is you're supposed to feel alone all the time. I feel so alone. Why is everybody so cold? Why is everybody so heartless? Why doesn't anybody see things the way I see them? How is this not clear as day to everybody else? Why am I the only one? I'm alone. I'm alone. I'm alone. Oh, they love that feeling. And I'm sure a lot of you felt that in your life. But in the 5D, it doesn't work that way. In the 5D, it's compassion, empathy. Let's start with a different approach. What do we have in common? What you have in common is a lot more than what you have not in common. If we started with the 99% we all have in common, I care about my family. I care about my, love. I'm just trying to be a better human. If you start there, and we don't fight so much, but the angry makers love to pull out the 1% of things that everyone's going to just go up in arms about. So yeah, you have to be careful of the angry makers, and you can't bite the bait. Fourth role that the 3D will program people into in order to waste your time and keep you the same and keep you from leveling up, the judgy shamers. Judgy shamers. They just want you to conform. Judgy shamers judgy shame you so that you conform. You're too scared to stand out. They just make you feel really insecure and stupid. It means if you're getting a lot of judgy shamers, just judgy people in your life, it means that you've been shining a lot, standing out on your own. It means that you have, you haven't been caring what other people think. You're really confident. Other people are looking to you as inspiration. The 3D programming does not like when people look to you for inspiration because you've been doing 5D things. Okay, we can't inspire other people. You're going to infect more people with your 5D leveling up. That's going to mess up the 3D system. Attack with the judgy shamers. What do? They're kind of like, mean girls, mean boys, people who are insecure, but very triggered by your security. So they just get you. It's kind of like a vibe lowerer in a way, but they're just mean. They're extra nasty about it because they're going to make you feel stupid. They're going to make you feel lower than them. And these are usually people that need some sort of supply from you. So they have like a narcissistic kind of vibe, They need you to be so concerned with what they think about you that becomes your new source instead of the 5D source of that which is greater than us, or spirituality, your inner self, your life purpose. Instead of being concerned with that, you're really honed in on, what does that person think of me? What does that group think of me? They love that because now you've taken your priorities and you've really lowered them to just what somebody else thinks about you. And then they have so much control over that because they'll never think you're great. So you're always kind of chasing something that's never going to happen. And that wastes your time. And there you are, not leveling up, not doing anything. You're just so concerned with fitting in. And judgy shamers will make sure that you never feel good enough so that you can never level up. And when you do feel like you level up, it's like false. Like, oh, okay, you spent this much money, so you're allowed to sit with us. Or you did this, so we won't talk about you, we'll talk about somebody else. Like your rewards are really sad. Not the rewards that you want from achieving your dreams and your goals and your life purpose goals. More kind of like sad 3D goals. Like, oh, look, they didn't talk about me today. I'm not being ridiculed. They're not gossiping about me, at least. It's like, they change your goals to ones that like it's okay, like moving on. Finally, the freeloaders. Okay. 3D programming loves to send you freeloaders. These are people that always want help, but never get better. It means that you're living in abundance. So when you get a freeloader in your life, and usually they're like family members or like a romantic love interest or somebody where you have some sort of like, but I love them kind of thing, or but I'm mean if I don't kind of thing. So it's complicated and it's emotional. So these can be a little tougher, but it means you're living in abundance. It means that you have extra resources to better your life. And they sense those extra resources and they come suck them dry. So now you don't. And you're basically now just supporting them and you. Sometimes it's not just a money thing. It can be a emotional thing. You're playing free therapist to somebody all the time. And then you don't have all that energy for insight for yourself. You're just constantly thinking about their life. Like, oh, I need to talk to her about this. We have to have a conversation about her boundaries. We need to have a conversation about her relationship with men. We need to have Why are you thinking about this person all the time? They're freeloading you. They're sucking your emotional energy so that you don't have it to go spend an insight on yourself. And again, you guys, I'm not talking about a friend that's going through something. That's different. That's love. We have to give each other support. These are people who are patterned freeloaders. They never get better, but they always want help. The second they seem to get better, something else happens. It's just a cycle. So I'm not talking about somebody who's just going through something, obviously. I'm talking people who just never get better. And the other thing is they just drain money too. They could drain money so that you can't go better your life with, well, I was going to go to school, or I was going to invest in this, or I was going to, travel or whatever, now I can't because they need money. And then mostly it's the light working. When you have more and you've been working on yourself, you can do more for others. 5D wants you to have abundance so that you can be in a place where you're not worried about your own survival. Okay. And then you can go help other people freely. And I've said this before, like you're allowed to be compensated in life so that you can go give back the way that you will. But freeloaders like to come in and make sure that you can't light work like that. So they're just going to drain all the light working out of you. And then they kind of stick you in survival mode. And then again, they're the center of all your thoughts and and thinking, and they keep you stuck because you're taking care of them. I know there are more societal programmed 3D roles in this machine that exist. I think it would be a really cool conversation over on the Mystic Michaela Spiritual Family about what you might think exists in our 3D program society. I feel like this time of year, I'm constantly just spending money and not paying a ton of attention to it because there's so much I have to do and so many people I have to buy for and so many things going on. But Rocket Money alerts me, and it alerts me to a lot of things. And it definitely alerts me to subscriptions that I've forgotten about or anything that I might have ended up paying for twice and hadn't realized it. You know, the start of the new year is the perfect time to get organized, set goals, prioritize what matters most. For me, a top priority is my financial wellness, which feels more important than ever. And thanks to Rocket Money, my goals feel achievable. They show me all my subscriptions right in one place. They help me cancel ones that I forgot about or ones I don't want to pay for anymore. And Rocket Money also pulls together all my spending across from all my different accounts so I can clearly track my spending habits and see where I can cut back. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. And Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has saved a total of $500 million in canceled subscriptions, saving members up to $740 a year when using all the app's premium features. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions and reach your financial goals faster with Rocket Money. Go to rocketmoney.com/KYA today. That's rocketmoney.com/KYA, rocketmoney.com/KYA. Hey, Scotty.
Hey, guys.
All right, so let's switch gears.
All right, so this is our last episode of 2024.
Yes.
Let's kind of leave with the vibe high, right? We started our first episode in January trying to raise that vibe high.
Yes.
Remember that one?
I do.
We were supposed to try to keep that through the entire year. So we'll keep
stay on the vibe.
Right. So, and I feel this season, my vibe has been real high. I have had the Christmas spirit, like overload.
You're like the Santa character on any Hallmark Christmas movie.
That's right.
Like that always like watches and it's like, is that the Santa? Is that Santa? You know, every Hallmark movie, it's like there's a Santa somewhere.
I feel I'm a little
That's you.
I feel I'm more like Hot Frosty this year from that Netflix movie. Although a little smarter. I'm smarter.
I told the kids, because, all right, if you know Scott, he always wears these like Amazon hoodies.
Which somehow have been going missing.
Because they're, all right, Scott has a thing for like $5 Amazon hoodies.
They're
paper thin.
They're like $9.
Okay. And the kids and I are always like, oh, he's got to wear that Amazon hoodie again. It's like see-through. And I told...
Two of them have gone missing.
I told Brianna that you were the naked snowman in our town until I put an Amazon sweatshirt on you. And that's why you can never take it off.
I mean,
she thought that was funny.
My theory now is they might have disintegrated in the washing machine.
And you keep accusing us of stealing them. Yeah. But I truly believe they just fall apart.
Yeah, that could be. Well, question for you.
Yeah.
How is the Christmas exchange going for you?
To review, every year Scott and I do a Christmas exchange. I'm sorry I'm repeating it, but if you're new here, it must be done. This started forever ago. We just got sick of spending a lot of money, giving us each other stuff that we didn't need or want or whatever. So we set a limit and then would set a theme, and then there's a winner because Scott's red, so there has to be a winner.
Right.
So this year,
but I lost last year.
It was a whole controversy last year.
Very big controversy.
But the loser does get to pick next year's challenge. And Scott's challenge was something. Now, he's always specific, which is my problem with Scott's exchange when he gets to pick it. The theme was something that appeared on QVC's In the Kitchen with David.
Yes.
Because we do like to watch that together.
We do. But there's been some controversy there now.
Yeah.
Because David, this is out of our hands.
Yeah.
This is not our fault.
Yeah.
David has been cutting back on his hours.
I know.
At QVC.
A lot of Reddit threads about this.
Yes. How do we know this?
Yeah.
Because we're shut-ins. But
yes. We do.
He's been cutting back on his hours.
Yeah.
His show usually was Wednesday night. That was our big night. So I had a discussion group. Sometimes I'd have to get out of there early. I'd be like, I got to go, guys. QVC, David in the kitchen. I don't want to miss the second half. But that show is over.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened.
I think he's just Sundays now.
He's just Sundays.
I know.
And that kind of put a damper on things.
Yeah.
But I feel that you're going to be picking the topic next year because I'm going to win again this year.
Yeah, I think you are going to win.
I got something real good.
Man.
And
this was hard for me.
It was tough for you?
Yeah. First of all,
this was easy.
Our limit, we always set a limit. The limit, you made like $60 plus shipping this year or something.
Yeah, we upped the limit.
Yeah, usually it's 25, but I only paid like, because I had a coupon. I only paid like $25.
Yeah, I
so I feel like I feel like it's not good.
No, you could still win with that. Because it's only one item. And actually, they was so cheap because they had like these crazy deals on there. And if you sign up, I had like all these.
Not an ad, you guys.
I had these different emails I used to get things cheap. I actually bought something extra for the family.
All these different emails I used.
Well, a deal's a deal. You're offering the deal.
You're like shut-in central.
I had to change web browsers, okay? Because they knew my browser. They're like, oh, yeah. Yeah, they weren't letting me do it anymore.
You got to go on the laptop
Yeah, I had to go on to like Breeze. I was using Breeze email by the time it was over.
Oh,
but
my
anyway.
God.
All right, so I feel good about the exchange this year.
Yeah, I think you won.
It's almost like too easy. It was almost too easy this year. And I like a little more of a challenge.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be good that you're going to lose most likely.
I know. I think I am.
Then you're going to get to pick next year. And I will say you pick better ones than I do.
Well, I pick better challenges than you do, but you always win. And here's how we choose the winner. It's the children on Christmas morning. Obviously, they get first vote.
Yeah.
They decide who wins.
Yeah. Do they each get one vote?
They each get one vote, and they decide who wins. And last year, they both voted for you, those traitors. And then we bring it to @KnowYourAuraPod on Instagram. I'll put it up on Christmas Day at some point, and I'll put up a poll, and then I won't say who's who, and you got to decide who won.
Okay. All right. So, I feel good. I'm feeling really good. I got the Christmas cheer going this year.
Yeah.
And I can't be beat.
It's true.
But next year, you could probably, you haven't lost yet. I don't want to put that out there.
When I lose, I'm going to go back to impersonal gift because you really do suck at that, and I am good at that.
Yeah, and I've been practicing for that though.
Oh, you have?
Yeah, so I'm hoping you pick that actually for next year. But anyway, all right. We asked the Mystic Michaela Spiritual Family to ask us some quirky questions. Yes. We wanted to have fun questions, and we're going to answer some of those now.
Okay.
So here was the first question. Where has Petro Hanchar been this year?
Where has he been?
And that's a great question, even though it wasn't on the thread. This was like a hidden. There's like I have hidden threads too.
Maybe Petro Hanchar wrote this in.
He might have. Yeah, and I was wondering that too. He's red purple.
Yes.
Petro's red purple.
Yeah.
And I don't think he was mentioned on one. I know there's probably a listener out there that's going to say he was mentioned on an episode.
I don't know,
but I don't recall
2024 being his year.
I don't. Yeah, he
with
was.
KYA.
He was missing in action. He could be in jail. I don't know. I mean, maybe he lost his phone. He's in jail.
I always picture him in the Mediterranean somewhere.
He was doing a lot of scams on the social media apps.
He's like the Tinder swindler.
Yeah, he's like a Tinder swindler. So I'm gonna assume Petro was in jail this year.
Okay.
And I'm gonna hope that he comes back next year.
Me too.
Yeah, I hope he makes an appearance.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so here we go. This question asks, how many previous lives do you think you each had?
Oh.
And how many lives do you think the kiddos had?
Oh, that's interesting.
All right, how many lives do you think you've had? If you had to guess.
I told you guys this story a long time ago that I had this dental hygienist. She like disappeared, as sometimes they do. God, loved her. But she was just cleaning my teeth. And remember I told this story? And she said, and she didn't know anything about me. And she said, you were like, no context to this guy. She just started talking. She's like, you were, and I never get reading, so this was really weird. She's like, I'm getting a picture of you as an Egyptian priestess, and you were even old back then. And she's like, and you wore a crown with a rainbow crystal on it. And you could see all the colors through the rainbow crystal. And I'm like, that's so crazy because I'm like an aura reader. And she was like, whoa. And I was like, that's crazy. She's like, anyways, I always think about that because how would she even know about the rainbow thing or whatever? Personally, I feel like I've had too many past lives.
Okay.
And that's why I'm so like stressed out and nervous all the time.
All right. And I'm going to say, I think
being honest here.
Okay. For me,
Yeah.
I don't know about you. I'm going to say for myself, I had like maybe one or two. And then the rest, I was on another planet. So I think, because I think I'm a starseed.
Right.
Now, I'm almost convinced I'm a starseed because I just can't handle the things anymore. But I would say like 2. I think I was probably in the 50s because I love the 50s.
You do love the 50s.
So maybe I was something happened to me in the 50s.
Yeah.
I could have possibly died in the Vietnam War.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. So maybe I got eaten by a shark in a life. Maybe it's a 2. I'm going to say most 2. And then for the kiddos, I would say, I don't know if I had to can't put a number on it, but I would just say who had more past lives, Abby or Bree.
Yeah.
Say Abby.
Abby, yeah.
Yeah, I would say Abby.
She's like old.
Okay.
I feel, yeah. But I definitely feel like me and you have had a couple together, but not a gazillion. And I feel like I definitely known Abby before. And Bree, I don't know. It's hard because I don't do past lives, but sometimes I'll get like weird visions of things for other people, but for myself, I never do. So that was cool. And the hygienist told me that.
All right. We have a question here. I think we've answered this one before. How did you tell me that you could see auras and what was my reaction?
Okay.
So I think this is how I remember it, that you just asked me the question of, do you see colors around people?
Yeah.
Like you asked me that, right? Is that how it went?
Yeah. Like it was a long time ago. And I remember, you guys got to remember I met Scott when I was 18. So I've known him a very long time. And it was one of those things that I just wasn't sure if other people could do it.
Right. Do you want to say my reaction in my voice or should I just do it myself?
You go ahead.
I don't see colors around people.
You're like, what? Yeah, but like there was a lot of reactions when you found out these things about my family and like whatnot, and you were always like accepting and we talked about this. I feel like a lot.
Yeah, we've talked about this a lot. I'll be honest. It took me a while to even. I always was okay with it. I just thought it was like how do you put this? Like a folly. Like I like just like a hobby. Like a. So, that's not, like I always say, that's great, honey. I've said this before. Like, keep doing what you're doing, honey. That's great.
I never knew.
I didn't even know what it was.
And I didn't know what it was good for. That's the other thing. Like, and that's what you guys all have to understand. Like, you have something too that you might not, you definitely have something and you just don't know what to do with it yet. And it just takes time for things to, and inspiration. But yeah, I think I told you and you're just like, shocked, like whatever, that's weird, moving past it, good for you, all
right,
not that explosive of a response, I guess.
I just remember saying like, what? No, of course I don't see colors.
I don't see colors.
I don't see colors.
Like, what do you mean, like your brown hair? Like, no, I mean like I see like red around you or like purple around my mom. Like, what?
That's kind of what it was.
Do you need glasses? Something like that.
All right.
I improvised, but it was probably like that.
All right. What actor/actress would you both like to play you in a biopic of your lives?
Oh.
All right. I got mine.
Okay.
You want me to go first?
Yes.
All right. Well, now I know he's had a lot of troubles lately, and he's had some bad press in the media.
Right.
And I think he did some bad things. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But it has to be hands down Kevin Costner.
Oh, God.
I mean, Kevin
I knew
Costner.
You were gonna say that.
I think he would play me pretty well.
It would be like a 4-hour movie about your life.
Right. It would basically take this like down on his luck,
right.
Underdog character
yeah.
that I am myself. And then he would, turn me into this like hero that doesn't want to be a hero.
Yes, of course.
And does all the greatest things, even though he's just this lowly underdog
just a guy.
Character.
Right.
Never meaning to be a hero, but yet he is a hero.
It's a weird question for me. I never thought about that before. I guess like Jennifer Garner.
Oh, okay.
I like her.
Jennifer Gardner?
Yeah.
Well, she's got like 2 sides to her, right? She can play...
It's like Indigo.
Yeah. She could play like the nice, quirky housewife role. But then she could play like a feisty role too, right?
Yeah.
Kind of?
Yeah.
So she's purple indigo?
She's purple indigo.
Okay.
I don't know. I pick her.
So you're going with aura color?
Yeah, and she's brown hair too.
Okay. All right, let's take a quick break. We're coming back with more questions.
Know Your Aura with Mystic Michaela is sponsored by BetterHelp. This time of year, we're thanking so many people in our lives by sending them gifts and well wishes, but perhaps there's one person who you also need to thank, and that's yourself. It's sometimes hard to remind ourselves that we're trying to make best sense of everything. And in this crazy world, it's not always easy. But here's a reminder to send some thanks to the people in your life, including yourself. I personally have benefited from therapy my entire life. Lessons I've learned from therapy sessions long ago stay with me and help me today. Therapy isn't just for people who've experienced major trauma. It can help you just in your day-to-day relationships with yourself and others. And if you're thinking about starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, suited to your schedule. You fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist, and you can switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. Let the gratitude flow with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/KYA today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/KYA. Hey, Scotty.
Hey, guys.
Okay, I have a question.
Okay.
From Kara. She asks, Mystic, Michaela, and Scott switch aura colors for the day. What are you both doing in your new colors? Or what does that day look like? This was exciting.
So what you're saying is I'm purple and indigo.
Yes.
And you're red, blue?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, it would be debilitating for you.
So you go first. So what?
All right,
so how are we switching here?
So if I was red, blue, hold on. I don't know.
But are you me and I'm you?
No, I'm just me.
Just the colors.
Yeah.
So I'm me with your colors.
Yeah, and I'm me with your colors.
Oh, confusing.
It's really weird.
Strange.
It's weird because I feel like my colors are who I am.
But and me too.
Yeah, whoa.
Yeah.
But if I was red, it would be super empowering because I wouldn't care what anybody thought about me.
Are you going to tell anybody off?
Yeah. So the first thing I'm going to do is all my inside indigo thoughts that are only shared for when I'm in the shower and I'm talking to myself in my fantasies where I tell off people who've been mean to me.
Yeah.
I do it in person. Okay. And I'm going back. I'm going far back into the depths of my personal grudges.
Yeah.
And I call them up and I'm like, hey, I got something to say, and I got Scotty's voice too for some reason.
Not only did you take my colors, you took my voice.
Yeah, and I just red rant them, and I'm like, and this is why you're wrong, and I'm right. Don't ever talk to me again.
Just hang up. It's over.
I hang up.
It's over.
It's over.
Wow.
And I feel good.
Yeah.
And then I go have a big.
Maybe Jennifer Garner plays you in this.
Yeah.
Because she was in a movie like this, I think, right?
I don't know.
Okay, but
I don't watch any of her movies. I just like her.
Okay.
And then, because I'm red, I don't care. I go get the biggest hot fudge sundae ever, and I just sit there and I eat it in public, not in the car like I normally do.
Okay.
Because I don't care. I don't care. I don't know. Is that an indigo thing? Do we like to eat in the parking lot?
Yeah, I mean,
under a tree in a shadow?
Yes.
Okay.
I still don't understand that.
I don't either.
You guys always like to do that.
I just want to eat in a shadow in the car. Yeah. I don't want to eat in the McDonald's.
Right.
I want to eat outside of it.
Okay. Interesting.
So that's what I do. What would you do as an indigo purple?
I guess I can take a day off from trying to fix all the problems of the world.
Whoa, yeah.
And I can kind of relax.
Okay.
And I don't have to worry about all the bills.
Oh, yeah.
Everything.
Money, what's that?
Yeah, paying things.
Screw that.
I'll just take out the credit card and be like, there you go.
Yeah.
How does that get paid?
How does it get paid?
Who knows who pays that?
That's your purple.
Right, that's my purple. Yeah, so I could kind of go wild and go to the mall
later.
And we'll do it. Yeah, I never paid the bills.
Screw it.
Somehow
purples pay their bills. It just takes them a minute. Okay, they might need a reminder.
I'll have some red guy do it.
Yeah.
Or red woman. Okay, so I think I would do that.
Okay.
I guess I would enjoy eat. Yeah, I'm probably not going to eat all the food in public, right? I might want to take it off to the side.
In the shadow?
I could eat it in the shower or something.
Right.
I can sit around. I can watch a movie.
Yeah, you can watch a movie.
You know what? I can actually enjoy reality TV.
You can watch reality TV.
And enjoy it.
Yep.
I could actually be
you won't get angry.
Yeah, I won't get mad.
You'll just enjoy it.
Yeah, when they're trying to fool me and dupe me about everything.
It's entertaining to you instead of angry.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we have our plan.
Not a bad idea. Great question.
Yeah.
All right. The next one comes to us. It says, will you... All right. So now I'm back to being red blue.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I'm indigo purple.
Okay. Will you continue to use the term Jumanji next year in light of the fact of the Kelseys stealing... They wrote the word stealing it from you.
Right.
I love this person.
Yeah.
It was Jane. And... Yeah, Jade wrote it.
Okay.
Yeah, not me. Jade.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And then it goes on to say, might you, and they gave me an idea, might you change the term next year? Might you change the term to see if they're going to steal that too? So like maybe I change it on them. So maybe in 2025, Jumanji is no more and we change the word.
You got to trick the Kelseys.
I'm going to change the word to Kelsey.
Trick the Kelseys. Okay, this is like a snare.
Yeah.
Like you're setting a snare.
Right. So what word should I use? Like Eagles? Was it?
Maybe like a different
Swift?
movie.
I could use Swift.
No, maybe a different movie.
A different movie?
A different 90s movie, like Home Alone.
Okay. Well, that's 2 words.
Oh, okay.
What about Kelsey? If I change it to their last name?
I don't know. I think it's got to be something that's so obvious.
But, if I do that, then, then I kind of,
You're not going to do it.
No. I mean, Jumanji's mine. I can't. The red in me will not let it go.
Okay.
I just can't
Double
let
down.
it go.
All right.
So I feel that Jumanji, and if you're playing right now, Jumanji, will be a 2025.
All right. You're not going to snare the Kelseys. Got it.
Because many people have also said to me, you don't say it enough.
Okay.
Yeah.
Many people.
Many people. Many times I've gotten.
Many DMs.
Say it more often.
Many.
Yes. I don't know if this is for you or me, but who are some of your favorite Real Housewives?
Oh, Mary, is it Cosby or Crosby? Mary Crosby.
Oh, Mary, okay.
I love her from Salt Lake City.
I like Dolores.
Oh, Dolores. Oh, well, obviously. Now I feel bad.
Oh,
as a person.
Maybe the ones that we don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, well we're going to change Amanda's question to, of the housewives you've never met.
Yes.
Okay, so you like who?
Mary Crosby from Salt Lake City.
Okay.
We talked about her at the pop culture episode.
Yes. And
she just is hysterical. I love her.
And I don't like any.
Okay.
Okay. So, except for Dolores.
Okay.
And a couple others.
And Megan.
And Megan, yes. Other than that. This one's for me. Mothman, Jumanji, having a glimpse of green in your aura. Ooh. You can only pick one. The rest you're never allowed to mention again.
Oh my God.
What would it be?
Ooh.
So the green in my aura, I can live without that.
Okay.
I'm okay with that.
Wow.
I am
That's
who
growth.
I am.
Growth.
Yeah. I just had purple in my aura, so.
Growth.
So now it comes down to the Mothman and Jumanji.
It's hard.
I didn't create the Mothman.
Yeah.
So.
You didn't? Okay.
Yeah. I mean.
Okay.
Although we can use Mothman as the 2025 term.
They're going to start talking about Mothman, Scott.
And then I bet you they're going to. Oh my God. I bet you.
Let it be known.
This is
episode 260.
Right now, there's a New Heights producer.
Yeah.
Listening to this. And they're like, yes.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about the Mothman.
Let's talk all about the Mothman. Yeah.
All right.
Everybody. We said it here first. It's going to happen.
Yeah. All right. Let's do one more.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. All right. This one is from Phil. And it's a question.
Nobody named Phil listens to this show.
You're right. Let me change that. It's from Amanda.
Okay.
Not Purple Mom Amanda. A different Amanda. And this is one question in 3 parts. Okay.
Oh, wow.
So the question asks, how are things with Jebediah? And then it goes on to say, part A, are you still twin flames?
Mm-hmm.
B, are you the runner or the chaser?
Wow.
Yep. And then C, will I be seeing him for the holidays? Well, I haven't seen him in a while. Oh. And he's another one that has, just like Petro Hanchar, he hasn't been mentioned a lot in 2024.
Was there a mailman too?
Yeah, there was a Cliff. Was it Cliff?
Yes.
Cliff the mailman. He got fired.
Okay.
COVID. Yes, we are twin flames.
Yes.
We're not soulmates.
Okay.
Me and you are soulmates.
Yeah.
Me and Jebediah are twin flames.
Yeah.
Am I the runner or the chaser? I feel I'm the runner these days.
Yeah.
Because I have been running. I did change my cell phone. Even though he doesn't have a cell phone, I still changed mine.
Yeah. Casey dials up that payphone.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe they lost their payphone, and that's why I haven't heard from him.
Oh.
And will I be seeing him for the holidays? I mean, there's been an invitation. I did get a courier.
You did?
I did get a courier.
Okay.
From Ives. And
what? Talking about?
I don't know.
Keep going.
Okay. And anyway, I don't think it's good that we see each other.
Okay.
So I'm probably not. I know.
I'm happy about that.
You're happy about
just
that?
for our marriage and stuff, yeah.
Yeah, because that could put a damp on things.
It gets complicated,
Yeah.
Like when the twin flame Jebediah is around.
Right.
So it's good.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's weird.
We've been in the same room before, and it was very awkward.
It was awkward. All right.
This is the way we end.
So we're ending 2024. 24. We'll come back more serious.
Yes. In January.
Yeah. Sure.
Well, it's been fun. We really do appreciate you all.
We do. We have so much gratitude for you. Thank you for just being part of the Mystic Michaela spiritual family. Thank you for the support you give each other. Thank you for participating, with your amazing energy on the page. Thanks for keeping the 5D alive in our little corner of the world. We got it. We're in it together. Thank you for keeping the podcast going. I mean, you do that with just sharing it, telling your friends about it, listening, using sponsor codes when you can, leaving reviews. All that means the world to us. Can't even tell you how much it means to us. And I don't know, I have so much love for you all. It's hard to express with just those words. And as always, this podcast is for you and about you. And we're so glad you spent some time with us today.
Hello, podcast fans. If you're looking for a new podcast, if you enjoy articles, books, pop culture, and hilarity, try listening to the Brain Candy Podcast.
That's right. The Brain Candy Podcast has over 500 episodes of educational hilarity to satiate your learning needs. Just search for the Brain Candy Podcast on your podcast app or click the link in the show notes.